Hello, friend. It's Christopher Reburn. Whether you are new to me or if you've been following me for thousands of years, well, we're kind of back to where we started. you know, I started getting into podcasting. I had no idea what it was in the year 2004. And I had a little bitty radio show that I was going to do just one time for a half an hour. That was it. One time, one off. And the response was so significant that my radio show went on for 15 magical years. And I just loved everything about it. So returning to the podcasting arena now in 2025, January 1st, as I'm recording this, 2025, it really seems like a full circle moment because podcasting in the early part of the 2000s put me in homes all over the world. It put me on devices, different things, iPads. Uh, what was the first one called? The Apple iPod. Uh, oh, I'm not technical, but it was like an MP3 player, whatever it was called. And I really hate to give away, to say big companies' names on here because, unless they want to give me a commercial, then we'll talk. But this was back in the day. And um, I'm so happy now to come back to podcasting because I just really wanted to put some more stuff out there. I feel entirely full of gratitude for the last 3 decades of doing psychic and spiritual and healing and light working. Um, I have been afforded quite a few blessings because of all of you who have supported me through thick and thin. And even when I was a nobody, and I kind of still am, many of you continue to flock to me, to praise me, to be a part of my crew, and I love you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, here we are again, but it doesn't feel like that. It feels like this is something new and exciting. I'm not one to go back and do things I've already done. So I'm really happy to put some good attention and time into my new podcast. And I hope you're excited. Be sure to click the follow or the like button. I don't know what to do. So I'm not a professional. But you should be able to click a button that says follow podcast or click the bell or whatever you have to do, okay? You know probably more than I do. I'm really just phoning this in. I have no idea what I'm doing. Some things never change. So the first podcast on my brand new podcast here on Spotify, I wanted to kind of introduce myself and in some cases reintroduce myself to some new people that may have never heard of who or what a Christopher Reburn is. Well, I'm going to try and tell you. Well, I was born November 15th, 1970 something, and in beautiful upstate New York in God's country. And I've had a lot of experiences at different parts of my life, and a lot of things I never told many people about because I just couldn't imagine why I had certain experiences, but not everybody else did. I believe I was born with the abilities that I have. I've been doing psychic readings for 3 decades now, and it just seems like yesterday. Even, I just don't know where all the time has gone. I really don't. And like I said, there's so many of you that are still with me, that are still on this adventure. And whether you're just joining me now, I'm just so full of gratitude that you've just given me a minute to chat, to talk. And I hope things that I talk about, I hope you can relate to. I hope you can, I hope you realize that certain people do experience certain things and you're not alone. I have been doing readings, like I said, for over 30 years. I do psychic readings, I connect to mediumship, I do healings, remote viewing, missing persons. I've worked with with the police departments and authorities around the globe. I've done lectures in just about every major city, and I just love getting to do what I do. And when I get to go on tour and get to come see you later this year, and some of your towns and cities and villages and some of those small rural parts that I love the most, I just can't wait. Um, some of my first experiences, I remember the one experience that I remember, and I've shared this before, was I was at my grandparents' home, and I was in my room, and I think it was in the middle of the night or something, and I woke up and I seen this white mist, and then I seen an angel, and I wasn't scared. I didn't feel like it was like gonna harm me or bother me. I thought this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my whole life. Now keep in mind, I was probably about 4 or 5 then, and the idea of telling anybody about it, and be believed was at that time very unlikely. But I always believed that my grandmother had a gift. So certain things I did share with her, and I think I know she understood. Um, so of course, my grandparents are both gone now, and I miss them much. They were so much a part of me. It wasn't even, you couldn't even imagine. Those of you that have been with me a while know what kind of love affair I had with my grandparents. They were a big, 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 big part of me. Um, There was also a time when I was on the playground in first grade in Mrs. Gray's class when I loved my teachers, even the mean ones. I just really had a lot of respect for teachers that would get up and stand in front of a class, and that they would get the respect of the students, that the people would pay attention to them. I thought, wow, this is really something. They're so smart. So I would help my teachers and just, kiss butt, whatever I could do. And we were on our way out to recess, physical education, or whatever they called it, which I didn't especially care for. And we walked out, and I, could see the monkey bars and the place, the swings and everything. And I seen, the big group of us kids was all congregating in one section. But then I seen this little girl on the swing set, and I asked Mrs. Gray, "What is she doing over there? We're not supposed to go over there." And she said, who are you talking about?" And I said, "That little girl on the swings." And she looked at me like I had about 20 heads. And she said, "Chris, there's nobody on that swing." And so, and then the swing started that she could actually see the swing starting to move. That freaked her. I'm sorry. I shouldn't laugh. But anybody that's ever doubted me has, in the end, been incredibly sorry they did. Um, I have been, as I said, I've been doing readings for a very, very long time, and that's only one part of me. It's not even the part I enjoy the most, believe it or not. I would say the part of me that I feel most fulfilled with is being a spiritual teacher and doing classes over the phone with people. Um, I have found that doing classes over the phone with people is much better than in-person classes, because you can be in your pajamas, you can be comfortable, you can, be in your onesie. You can just be really peaceful and comfortable on the phone. You can't always get that same experience in person. And teaching other people what I've learned. I started doing classes in 2007 after I noticed that quite a few other psychics and people uh, were commenting that they couldn't teach anybody how to do what they did, that they wouldn't want to because they would think that would hurt their business. I thought, what a bunch of horse shit. And then some of these classes that were available in the first part of the millennium were hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of dollars for these retreats at these big spas and places. So you had to literally be a millionaire to be able to afford to learn about your spirituality. I knew I had to do something. So I got on in there and changed the game. And there were a lot of people, a lot of others, teachers that didn't like the fact that I had low rates that anybody could afford. And that cost me friends. But I didn't care because I knew that it was helping people and that was all I needed. That was everything to me, and it still is. I think my biggest pet peeves are people that want to talk to me, they want the reading, but they don't want to pay attention. They want to hear what they want to hear. And I get really bored really quick with a person like that. Not somebody I would ever want to do a second reading with, and I won't. I am in complete control of my gift. I will do exactly what I want, when I want, if I want, with who I want. And everybody should be in control of their gifts. That you should never have someone tell you how to do what you do. Never. Because we are all different. I believe that we are all attuned to the same frequencies. I don't think that there's anybody better than anybody else, contrary to other beliefs of other people that think they are. I think we're all the same. I think that the only difference is some of us have been doing this a lot longer. So there is that confidence ratio. There is that really good energy about. Disrespectful people, I don't tolerate it. I won't tolerate it, and that means any member of anybody that tries to come for me or be rude or nasty. No, I don't play. I don't play that game. I am such a nice person, sometimes too nice, and I've learned over the years there's a price you pay to be incredibly kind, because people think they can shit all over you. Well, you wise up one day and realize that no, that's not going to happen anymore. Being a light worker, that is who I am. People say Christopher Reburn, psychic medium, and I want to vomit everywhere. I hate being referred to as a psychic medium. I prefer being referred to as a light worker. I mean, I am a psychic, I am a medium, I am a healer, I'm a spiritual teacher, a lot of different things. But I think light worker pretty well sums it up. Light workers can do many, 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 many things. There's this beyond the sky is the limit for light workers. Why would you want to limit yourself to just being a psychic medium when you could be a light worker and be open for anything and everything? So many people that I work with through my private classes are so gifted and so incredibly special. But they say, Christopher, what is my husband going to think? Or what is my wife going to think? Or what are my children going to think about me wanting to do readings and use my gift? I don't care what they think, and neither should you. You have a certain amount of years in this lifetime to get everything right. Other people's opinions of you are quite honestly none of your business and should never hinder your decisions or judgment. Sometimes you have to pull the weeds out of your spiritual garden, and you shouldn't wait till spring cleaning to do it. Sometimes you should just do that very randomly. I am so looking forward to doing this podcast. I don't know how often I'm going to do it, so I'm not going to say I don't believe it's going to be every week, probably every month, possibly once a month. Listen, if you want to spend time with me, if you want to work with me, you need to head on over and join my Patreon, okay? Because the Patreon people have the most of me, the Patreon people have the best of me. I do exclusive content for Patreon only, members only videos, private live streams where I answer members' personal questions, live stream classes. In fact, over the holidays, I offered my patron subscribers a buy one, get one free reading special that was only available to them, nobody else. I'm really happy to have this podcast, and I'm looking forward to bringing you very, very, hopefully very positive things of a psychic, spiritual, light working, healing, mediumship quality, new age. Every time I do one of these podcasts episodes, it's going to be a different subject, different topic, and I'm so grateful that you're listening. I'm so grateful that you've tuned in for my very first episode here on my new Spotify podcast. Thank you very much for being there and for listening. To book readings or to connect with me, you can visit my website at www.reburn.org. And you can also, like I said, head over to my Patreon. If anything I've said today sounds good to you and you want to further your own spiritual development, head on over to Patreon. Do yourself a favor, okay? We got awesome stuff going on over there. Take care of yourself, all right? I love you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the support. And we'll be back together again real soon. Ta-ta.